How's it going today? Welcome back to Folk Solo Sports Show. We got the Denver Nuggets beating the Los Angeles Clippers in Game 7. Jamal Murray was not playing when he said he was packing his clothes, and then he said he thought about it and was like, wait, I ain't packing my clothes. I ain't about to go home. You got something to play for. And the Nuggets did just that. They got something to play for. I'm actually even kind of worried about them against the Lakers, who I predict and want to win it all, because they're just looking too good of a team right now. They never give up. And desperation, as Mike D'Antoni said, kicked in with the Nuggets, and look where desperation got them. The first team ever in NBA history to come back from a 3-1 deficit in 2 series. So right there should tell you desperation kicked in, and it worked out for the Denver Nuggets against the Utah Jazz and against the Los Angeles Clippers. Jamal Murray came up big in Game 7, 40 points. Joker did okay, but did just enough to pull the win in. 104-89 was the ending score. So we got the Nuggets and the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. And I want to give Jamal Murray, Joker, and everybody else on the Nuggets their props. Porter Jr., everybody. Even though he only had a total of 2 points, still upcoming star, as everybody thinks and is saying. So I think also. And yeah, I want to give props to the Denver Nuggets. Just playing great basketball right now. I think that the Lakers will still win the Western Conference Finals 4-2. I don't think it's going to go to a Game 7, but we'll see. And now let's get to the terrible, terrible ending of the Los Angeles Clippers. I bet Kawhi wishes now that he would have went to the Los Angeles Lakers and played with LeBron and Anthony Davis. Because if he did, this wouldn't even be a question. Lakers are winning 3, maybe 4 straight championships in a row. And LeBron, AD, and Kawhi is just stacking up chips if Kawhi joins the Lakers. But he didn't want to do that. He went to the Clippers. Thought he could play against LeBron and AD. Now, I'm not saying they couldn't have beat him in the Western Conference Finals, but he wanted to try to do the quest to the championship with Paul George, and it did not turn out well. As we see, Kawhi Leonard, man, these other games, this dude had 36 points. 20-something points. Paul George was also doing very good. But in this Game 7, a terrible performance from Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. I don't think anybody expected too much from Paul George, even though they call him Playoff Paul. But I don't think anybody expected too much from him how they did Kawhi Leonard. Paul George only had 10 points, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds at the end of the game. And Kawhi Leonard only a stunning number of 14 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds. Now, the 6 assist part is pretty good, I think. The 6 rebounds, he usually gets 10 rebounds or more. He could have had a couple more rebounds, but most certainly on the points. Kawhi Leonard only 14 points after dropping 30 pieces, sometimes getting at least 28 or 29 through the series. This is just not a good look for the Clippers. I'm wondering if he's going to stay with them and even coming back next year. I know that's his home, so now it's a matter if he thinks he can win with the team, because Montrezl Harrell carried in points last night in that game with 20 points, and he came up out of nowhere and did that. Lou Williams Williams didn't show up. He's usually the guy you seen against the Mavericks. I think he dropped 36 in a game and took the victory for him, basically. Even though Kawhi Leonard was doing good that game too, Lou Williams just made it to where the Mavericks could not keep up with him. So the Clippers right now, yeah, man, not looking good. Everybody was waiting for that LA showdown in the Western Conference Finals. And now I think it's time that we got to stop saying Kawhi is better than LeBron. We got to stop even trying to compare them to. Kawhi has never done what LeBron has done, even though he beat him in a final series. Look at the team that he had, a Spurs team that had been good since Kobe was winning championships, that was going to the Western Conference Finals almost every year, and the finals, already won 4 championships before Kawhi got there. That's just a really good team. Already played LeBron when he was still in Cleveland in 07. Swept LeBron, but what was he able to do? Going against Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili, what was he really able to do? And then in Toronto, Kawhi gets the East, and only because LeBron leaves the East. That's the only reason that the Toronto Raptors went to the championship that year, is because LeBron went to the West. If he would have stayed on the Cavaliers or went to another team like the Chicago Bulls, the Raptors do not make it to the NBA Finals. They lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, and LeBron's back in the NBA Finals for 9 straight years. So he gets to the finals and he wins, but it's only, let's be real, only because Klay Thompson and especially Kevin Durant got hurt, or Kawhi Leonard only has 1 ring right now as we speak. And if KD isn't hurt and Klay isn't hurt, that series wouldn't have went any more than 5 games. I guarantee you. The Raptors would have won probably the first game and then probably would have got the gentleman's sweep. It just wasn't a good enough team. You see what they already did to LeBron and Kyrie in 2017, and also Kevin Love, and they just won a championship and they weren't ready once KD joined the Golden State Warriors. So the Raptors wouldn't have had a chance if those guys weren't hurt. But they would have never made it if LeBron would have stayed in the East. So that right there. And then Paul George, man. Paul George said he was going to close the Nuggets out in Game 6. Bad look. Bad look, PG. You gotta come correct. Better off to just not say nothing and just better off to be humble like Giannis. You see what Giannis said against the Heat. He said, I don't know. He said maybe we're going to get swept. He was just being honest. He is like, they're playing way better than us. Maybe we're going to get swept against the Heat in the second round playoffs. And they didn't get swept, but he was right. They lost. I think it would have been better to take that approach instead of saying you're going to shut them out in Game 6, because now we're here and we're talking about the Denver Nuggets against the Los Angeles Lakers, Western Conference Finals, and they're going to duke it out and see who they're going to face, whoever comes out on top to face the Boston Celtics or the Miami Heat. And we got the Miami Heat also taking Game 1 against the Boston Celtics. I didn't think that would be like that. I thought the Celtics would come out and beat them at least the first 2 games. But we'll wait and see for Game 2 if that changes. But now I think Miami might have already stole the hearts of the Celtics, and they might go up 3-0 before the Celtics even get a game. But we'll see. This is Folk Solo Sports. I got more videos coming soon. Back NFL Week 2. And I want to say about the Dak Prescott thing also. I was not trying to say that Dak Prescott isn't worth his big contract in that Week 1 NFL video. What I was saying was the Cowboys already aren't looking good, and every time that a contract is big and they give it to a player, that's the first thing they want to start up on. So if Dak isn't doing what they think the contract is worth, they start immediately going at the money and forget about all the other things that you need to have the quarterback playing good. Like Eli Manning getting blackballed by his team, the New York Giants, acting as if he isn't a good quarterback anymore. But we'll get into that in another video. And this is Folk Solo Sports Show. Thank you for tuning in today. I'll get back with y'all later. Thank you.